Have you ever been in a situation where you wanted to get something done and you're not able to really do it? Like you're not just able to pull yourself up to do the work, no matter how many motivational videos you watch, or no matter how much you try to convince yourself to do the work, because you know that it's important to do the work and you really want to do the work, but it's just that you're too lazy, or like you don't have the will to really do it. You just want to lay around or do something else. Like a lot of people, a lot of times, me, you, whatever, we try to convince ourselves to love the thing. Like we convince ourselves in such a way like we're telling somebody else to love something else which they do not love. For example, let's say you have to get your assignments done, right? But you're not able to really do it because you're too lazy, or whatever the reasons it is, because of this mental resistance that you have in your mind, and you're not able to really get yourself up to do the work, but you're trying to convince yourself to get up and do the work, because like in such a way, like just tell yourself that, oh, after this it's gonna be more fun, and you just naturally try to force yourself to love the work, and that shit is never gonna work. Seriously, being honest with you, like it's okay to try to motivate yourself to do the work, but what really doesn't really work is like trying to force your way out into loving the thing. First things first, this is not gonna be a how to be disciplined, top 10 tips to be disciplined kind of videos. Of course, in the end, no video is gonna help you to be disciplined or get your work done. What really matters is your own willpower and mind, and you need to understand that if it was easy, everyone would have done it. So if you really want to be something, like if you really want to do something different, you've got to get this straight in your mind that it takes a little bit of discipline and willpower, and without that, no video is gonna save you or help you or anything like that. The first thing first is that you have to like force yourself. When you have this overwhelming feeling of not wanting to do the work that's really important that you want to do, that's gonna be that's what you're gonna need to do in the future. If you're too lazy to do the work, what you really need to do is force yourself, like force your way out to do the work. And let me tell you something, let me describe this feeling. Like if you are really overwhelmed with the feeling of forcing yourself to do the work, there's like this strange feeling. Like I know some of you guys have never even really tried it, because you just because majority of the people do not even try to force their way out to do the work. But once you really try it just for once, I'm telling you, just try it once, you have this very weird feeling when you start doing the work. When you start doing the work that you didn't want to do, once you start doing it, you're not really happy either, but you're not really sad, or in such a way that you don't have this resistance anymore. Like it's like a very weird feeling, kind of tiring, but also kind of really feeling like you're achieving something really great. And that feels really amazing, by the way, and this happens because you're going against something, like you're going against your mind, and you're breaking your laziness. But still, even if it's uncomfortable, in the end, this is what's better, and you know that shit, and the mixed feelings just feels really good. And so what you really need to do is just force your way out into just doing the work. And yes, to remove the negotiations. Never ask the questions like, do I really want to do it? Like, should I really do it? Or just like try to delay your work by just thinking about it. Just try to constantly trying to just find excuses. And a lot of people even procrastinate trying to motivate themselves, right? They'll feel like, oh, they're doing something productive, like, oh, I'm doing the work because like I'm just trying to make myself motivated to do the work. But in that sense, they feel like they're doing something great, but ultimately they end up being procrastinating. Like they end up being procrastinating the work they have to do. Also, you need to remember the consequences of avoiding the work that you should do. Whatever work it is, maybe going to the gym, maybe completing your work, your assignments, or whatever this shit is, it's very important that you just think about the consequences, the regret that you will have if you don't complete it. This also kind of really helps a lot of people to start just get up and just do the work as well. So in the end, what you really need to say to yourself, like the mindset shift, is you don't need to talk to yourself to want to do the work. A lot of people waste a lot of time trying to convince themselves to do the to want to do the work, like to first have interest to do the work. They try to motivate themselves, but ultimately they end up procrastinating, right? what you really need to be doing is you need to convince yourself, you need to be talking to yourself to taking the first step. And this is what really makes the difference. A lot of people, including me, I have done it as well. I try to convince myself to to do the work. I will be procrastinating. I'll be saying, oh, I should really do it. It's kind of fun, like in such a way where I'm just trying to be positive with myself. But what we really need to do is we need to try to convince you to take the first step. You need to be like, okay, let's take the first step. Let's just do it now. Don't think about it. Just take the first step. And it kind of creates an urgency in the brain as well, and also kind of helps you to just build take the first step and build momentum. So if we summarize the video, it's that do not waste your time into trying to convince yourself to liking the work that you have to do, because you ultimately end up procrastinating, trying to motivate yourself to start loving or doing the work. What you really need to do is you need to convince yourself into taking the first step. It's like you have to create this urgency. Like, it's very important. Take the first step and build momentum, and eventually you will learn to talk yourself into doing the things that you actually need to do. I hope this video is helpful to you in some way. If you have any thoughts for this video or any problems with your life, you can definitely leave it down in the comments. Until then, stay disciplined.